Sheridan brings it up himself. He's like, well, why are you sending me? This is going to be a problem for them, right?
Yeah,
And,
he knows. He's
to
pointed out.
right, and
Right.
then Ivanova, is aware of it as well, and kind of discusses it with him, and Sheridan talks about it himself, and he's like, I'm not going to apologize for for being the only, for our only victory, so it's they're setting up that kind of good tension, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and they also, whereas Sinclair had a previous prior relationship with Garibaldi, now we're saying, okay, Sheridan has a prior relationship with Ivanova.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why her character kind of, now we're uplifting her character a little bit from being the
I mean,
cold,
it
stale.
was it was such a world. I mean, am I wrong? It was a world of difference.
Noticeable. Like I said, I literally was going, I wonder what Cam's going to say about this. Every time I'd see her, it just seems like
And
she was a
and
little
she was
happier
she
about
was
something.
she was well utilized also in the script, to bring out this information about Sheridan, right? Um,
Served with
and,
them
and
on IO, I think.
right, but they didn't bring it out. So it was like they were familiar enough with each other to have conversations in a somewhat casual way without it being like, oh, look, we're best friends, and I mean, that's what I thought at least.
She's
Well,
kind of like the doctor's companion, right? Where when you have a regeneration for a doctor and the companion hangs on, she's
They
the
used to.
audience proxy for the transition to get people used to the new lead actor.
Right.
And it's almost kind of the same thing here, where and usually you have the banter between Sinclair and Garibaldi. Well, now both of them are unavailable. Sinclair's gone, Garibaldi's in coma. So who's going to get that back and forth?
But
Well, the
but
fact that Sheridan and
yeah,
Ivanova have a relationship, you can give it to them.
right.
And it's a little bit different because of the dynamic and that sort of thing. But I think it does add some energy to her character, and it opens her up and animates her a little bit more, because this is somebody that I know. Because you remember in season 1, she didn't know Sinclair. She didn't have any prior
Right.
relationship to anybody, so she's a little standoffish. She's keeps to herself. We've talked about that for a couple of times. She's very wretched.
Yeah.
Doesn't trust anybody. I'm just gonna do my job and focus on the job. Well, I think the assassination of the president has also had an emotional impact. That's a gut punch for her.
And she does say that. She does
And
go
yeah,
into, because she
Yeah.
goes into a little explanation about that when talking to Sheridan.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that
How
factors
are
in.
you doing? How's the crew doing? How are you doing?
Yeah.
You
Right.
know. I think, and she's very concerned about Garibaldi, so I think she's trying to also reinforce that relationship. She's there like clockwork, 2:45 every day or
It,
something like that. I think it was. Um,
And she
you
may
know,
feel a little bit of a guilt obligation there, because they didn't
right,
they didn't get along until toward the end of the first season, and
right.
even then it's kind of touch and go some. So maybe she feels like she's got an obligation to him.